इनसे है देश का गौरव, इनसे है देश का गौरव, इनसे है देश की शान। भारत के हैं ये वीर महान, भारत के हैं ये वीर महान.
A big good evening to all the listeners here and namaste from Media for Community Foundation. We present to you a very, very exclusive and a very special podcast series which is dedicated to the heroes on our war front, Indian Navy, Indian Army and the Air Force. I think this is an extreme privilege for a presenter like me to bring the series to all the listeners here. And this series is called Sainik Vani. Sainik Vani is dedicated to the heroes on the war front. This entire concept has been conceptualized and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar. And with this, we come to yet another very, very exclusive interaction with one of the heroes of the nation. We have Group Captain R. Vijayakumar with us today. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Varsha. It's a pleasure to be here with you to speak to you on my experience.
Absolutely. So, sir, to the listeners, we would like to inform them that sir had voluntarily retired from the Indian Air Force after a highly decorated and colorful career spread over 3 decades. That itself is a big lifetime. Sir, why don't you tell us about the early start? How did this journey happen?
It's very interesting. I was a student of chartered accountant and my father was a police officer. After finishing my intermediate, I left chartered accountancy and joined Air Force because my love for the Air Force was so much, I couldn't resist doing so, and I got selected. And afterwards, there's no looking back. Fortunately, because of my solid finance background, being a CA, and also doing a lot of other work, I had a wonderful career in the Air Force. I was sought after because most of the issues revolved around finance in armed forces, actually. And I also had a lot of opportunity to experience various things, that is, be it IPK operations or be it air show. I did a lot of air shows in Air Force, being a coordinator for operating over 80 plus aircraft. Then also I did the biggest management of golf course in Air Force, management of CSD, which is a 3,500 crore turnover company. So where do you get so much of exposure? And it taught me one thing: you think big and act big, you'll successful, and you be nice to the people. Anything you want, you can achieve. That is what gave me a fundamental knowledge of my initial service with the Air Force.
The loveliest memories of your entire 3 decades journey with us.
I mentioned to you just a while ago, and I also want to pick up only 2-3 memorable things. There are so many of them in my life. Over 3 decades, 30 years, quite a long period. First thing I was chosen by Indian to be working with Town Commandant Jaffna, that to be successful in whatever operations you have made. So I was Let me say that's the time I really realized what is fear of death. We never really bothered otherwise. So even night, we had to go to toilet, we had to crawl because some slipperies of the thing, we won't put on light. So like that, so many incidents happen with me, that place, connecting with people. People used to insult you. That's the time I learned she never get reacted to what the people think about you, talk about you. They used to say, IBKF, innocent people killing fools. We never need to laugh it out because we have come with a mission to build confidence. That's the only objective we have been sent by Air Force. So back to India after the IBKF operations. Again, I was posted to an important assignment in Bangalore. From Bangalore, I moved on to Delhi. And one thing I learned in the Air Force, what Air Force taught me is how to manage huge project, actually. Huge project in the sense, how do you make sure this project management helps you? So one area where I did exceedingly well, which was recognized by the highest, including the Chief of Air Staff, was managing the air shows, the biggest of air shows. The first air show what we did is in Tamil Nadu, where Air Chief Marshal Krishnasamy was the Chief of the Air Staff. Then we wanted to try in collaboration with Tamil Nadu, did this air show where about 80 aircrafts are there to be flying. So when we negotiated with the state government, at the time Jayalalitha was the Chief Minister, we had to get the permission, we had to get the finance. Then I explained to him what exactly the Air Force is trying to do to attract a lot of young people to join the Air Force, to show the prowess of Air Force to the people of South India, where the exposure to the operations are very limited. And Madam Jayalalitha got convinced that what I said is very, very valuable. And she told the entire government to be at my disposal to do one of the biggest air shows in Chennai in Marina Beach. I still remember the 4th of November, we did the air show in 2004. The entire Marina was only sea of full of thick. The entire seashore was covered with human beings, and we did one of the fantastic air show and which people remember. The moment we completed from Chennai, we moved to Mumbai and we did J.R.D. Tata Memorial, the J.R.D. Tata's 100 years of flying. That is what we did jointly with Tata. This air show in Mumbai, we did at Marine Drive. There, you come across a lot of problems when you deal with the civilian counterpart. One of the formation, we want big boy formation where we want, Air India Airbus to be escorted by two AN-32 fighter. We want to go showcase in one of the formation flying. But the people at ADC objected, no, it can't be done. It can be done only during military operations. Then what we did immediately, my team and my boss said, okay, we are putting an operation military. It's an exercise. Unless you practice during peace, you cannot really fight in the war. So you put an operational order to see that one of the civil aircraft is being escorted for operation purpose. So we come across so many issues like this, and even operations wise, even operations wise, when you do with the civil aviation, say air traffic controller, our Air Force pilots are used to a certain way of interacting with the air traffic controller and doing that. There could be some mismatch in what we do and so on. So to make the civil aviator understand the constraints and difficulties of the Air Force pilot, so we really bring them, for example, the moment Air Force pilots get to the cockpit, they have to go to the runway end, and unless the civil aviation, where they go through the entire checklist read by the air traffic controller, whereas in terms of Air Force pilot, because they're sitting in the cockpit, which is not so much of heat, they really move on. And sometimes air traffic controller think it's a very serious issue. So we made them come and see the cockpit, understand how difficult terrain Indian Air Force people operate. So when he explained to the civil counterpart under what difficult circumstances you operate, they really understand your difficulties and do that. And during Kargil War, I was posted at Air Force Srinagar base, and we underwent quite a bit of things. We were supporting services. And one good thing about Air Force is you were staying with the family. And I was with small children, and imagine your wife, my milkman used to come and give the milk, and where we make that person who bring the milk to drink the milk, wait for 1 or 2 hours, then only we give that milk to the children. Imagine the plight of a mother, plight of the family to go through these moments, and all of our families went through all that during these operations at different locations, especially in Srinagar. Then Air Force teaches you everything. Why to be a great administrator. For my recognition, I was constantly recognized by the Chief of Air Staff Commendation, be seen his commendation. I also got a Vishish Seva by the President of India for various continued service then over the period. And because of my finance background, I was sent to Canteen Store Department to really sort out so many issues in the interest of the armed forces. I was there for about 3 years, made sure the entire thing is automated, and where every soldier get the value for money of the product what you wanted. We could do that only because of the great support given by the Air Force in terms of putting me in my financial knowledge, and not only in your provision, it also helps you because I was put in a place where I'm a good sportsman while in school and college. And when I went there, when my boss said, you have an opportunity to learn golf, he sent me golf coaching for almost 3 weeks to learn under one of the best coaches. And I went on to become a good golfer. I went to the Indian golf team to Sri Lanka to do something very good in golf, and also managed one of the finest golf courses in New Delhi. So what happened? The Air Force gives me a lot of importance to do a lot of, not only the operations, also outside the operations. And you develop a lot of your leadership traits, be it in operations, be it outside the operations, be it in where you interact with the civilians. All this helps you as an Air Force officer, which now helped me. Now, since the time I left voluntarily Air Force in 2007, I'm heading Madras Management Association in Chennai, one of the largest management associations in India with over 10,000 members. I can proudly say out of my 17 years of service, 14 years we are declared as #1 management association in India, constantly winning the coveted award by the IMA nationally. And we do some phenomenal events, and I deal with some of the best of the corporate leaders here today. So the confidence what I got while in Air Force and while also interacting with so many things enabled me to connect with who is who of the corporate world, be it chairman of Tata Sons, be it some of the best corporate leaders in India. We deal with one with them for many occasions, for many events and many conclaves, seminars. And it also gives you a lot of knowledge to develop your knowledge in various areas, be it success.
Yes, sir. Group,
Yes, sir.
Group Captain, sir, one more thing, sir. We
Hmm.
are most interested in the operations in the J&K and the Siachen Glacier.
That
Siachen
I
is
won't be able to talk much, sir, because I was in charge of that. I never really went and operated them.
you
I was in charge
never.
of operations
But
for Western
have
Command.
you visited Siachen once or twice?
No, not really. I've flown there with them. I not visited Siachen, but I
You have,
went to Leh many times, not
uh,
Siachen Glacier, because that is
yes.
more controlled approach only. I was in Western Air Command. If you notice my profile,
Mm.
I was in Western Air Command in charge of complete logistics operations service all in Siachen Glacier. What we do, we operate to Leh Air Force.
Okay.
So
So
I
what
won't
is
be
the
able to talk much on that because
okay, sir. Okay. For obvious reason, Vishishta Seva Medal.
Yes, sir.
What is this medal? Okay, but start.
Yes,
uh, I am indeed
sir.
privileged to be awarded the Vijayakumar Seva Medal by the President of India. In fact, I was one of the very squadron leader. I got this award as a squadron leader because I was recognized to be given this award as a squadron leader, which is very rare in the Air Force, because I did multiple tasks as a young officer. I operated in some of the operations at IPKF. I also did the major operations for the Air Force in terms of uh, uh, in terms of occurring something and couple of activities of Air Force. I also did something which built the image of the Air Force to a great extent and made the life of a big number of armed forces person easy. All this made my people to think that I'm fit to recognize this award by the President of India to engage as a squadron leader. It's indeed a proud moment for me to have received this Vichitra Seva Medal, which is given it's a non-peace award, the person who has done some service of very high order.
Wonderful. Sir, it is indeed a very proud moment for us also to know from you about this. So you were also honored and awarded Commendation Medallion by the Chief of Air Staff and Air Officer Commanding in Chief for 4 occasions in recognition of service of high order. Why don't you share a little memory about this?
Yes, I got awarded. I mean, I'm lucky enough to do that all through my career. I was getting the award, especially commendation. Commendation by the CNC is Air Officer Commanding in Chief. When I was posted in Jodhpur, one of the big Air Force base, I did some phenomenal work on the Air Force base at Jodhpur in different areas, which really enabled the entire service of the Jodhpur Air Force base, for which I got a commendation by the CNC of Southwestern Air Command. After that, I moved from there to the Maintenance Command. Then I moved to Training Command. I went to other commands, every other places. Wherever place I worked, I was recognized by either the Chief of the Staff or by the CNC for the outstanding work which is contributed and done by me. All this, cumulatively takes you to the higher award. So I really never worked for the award. But if you pursue a purpose for which you are being selected to do the job, you do it very sincerely, the award comes automatically actually. So very rarely people get so many awards, and I'm few lucky enough to get this award, which really motivated me to do much better. So not that I was running after award. When award is given to me, I could able to do much better job in the interest of the Air Force.
Of course. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this with us. And each word when you speak is very inspiring, and that's what Sainik Vani is all about, to get that inspiration to the country people from the heroes of the war front who have always given up their life and dedicated their lives for the safety of the countrymen. So one thing which we know about you, which is very interesting and exclusive, is while being with the Air Force, you had also been playing a role of a financial advisor to the Air Officer Commanding in Chief. And that is again, where you had contributed to a very huge amount and contributing to something exclusive away from your common profile and designated profile is again something which talks about multidisciplinary qualities. How did this happen, and how was the interest? How did the interest come to you?
Because I am from the finance accounts branch of the Air Force, being posted at Army Air Force headquarters as Director of Financial Planning. So we deal with the entire budget of the Indian Air Force, allocation to various projects. So it's a very tricky work based on the various project report, various coordination with every directorate, coordinate with ministry. And because budget allocation is very tough, especially for acquisitions and major things, where you have to plan your thing without any slip up, where you cannot surrender the money. Bringing allocation the entire project itself is a big challenge, for which I was recognized because of my finance background. I did my CA, I could do that. I could do the job with very good thing to satisfaction of both my Air Force headquarters people as well as from the Ministry of Defense. Then I was also posted at the Western Air Command as the command accounts officer, which advises the entire all the units under the Western Air Command as well as to the CNC of Western Air Command. We could do quite a bit of activities to make sure that every money allocated as a finance allocation to the command headquarters is very well spent and used for very judicious purpose to prepare the operational efficiency of the Western Air Command and much more. So all this, any operations of the armed forces to be done by so many people who joined together, be it account, be it administration, be it education, technical branch, all of them put together the teamwork which makes the Air Force a formidable force today to face the challenge, whatever is put before the Air Force. So we are only a part of those activities which we are very, very proud of.
Sure. So one thing which I would also personally like to ask you, your keen interest in sports. Many of us know that you have keen interest in golf. And how far did this go, and how were you able to manage it with your very, very dedicated kind of job?
Yes, golf is a misunderstood in armed forces because you play golf, a lot of your time is taken. Yes, we have a lot of spare time all weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, or in the evenings, because most of the armed forces stations, there'll be a golf course because they want to keep the Air Force field very clean and neat around the airfield. So best way to keep them clean is just construct a golf course. So we started playing golf and everywhere to maintain the course. Also, at the end of the day, how do you keep yourself physically fit and mentally fit? Golf is the only game, very, very difficult game, I can assure you that. That's the only game where you play against yourself. It brings the character of a person when you play golf. You know, how honest, how sincere to the purpose is very clearly visible when you play golf. And Air Force taught me golf in such a manner. Went on to proceed, as I mentioned to you, went on to go and play with the Indian golf team. I went to against Sri Lanka with the Indian golf team and could do bring out some outstanding golfers to represent the country. All that is enabled me as a good golfer. You are most wanted person if you are a good golfer. Everybody like to play with you. I had the privilege of doing that with some of the best people in Delhi. Played golf with me. That's a great privilege and honor for me. Be it the senior ministers, bureaucrats, who was there used to play golf with us. That made me really understand what it means to be a good leader and how you should be able to connect with the best of the people, senior people, without fear. That helped me in my present job to connect with me to the best of the leaders without any fear.
Wonderful, sir. So why don't you share a message to all the youth who can join the Air Force?
Yes, but one thing I can tell you, if I am given an opportunity to serve Air Force, I will do it again and again and again. I'll join Air Force because very, very rarely you get an opportunity to serve your nation. But more than serving a nation, you join Air Force, it teaches you some of the best things in life: to be a good leader, to be a good father, to be a good husband, everything. It's put nicely packed and given it to you because you get an opportunity. Today, Air Force needs very smart young officers. They need, because the technology is really, really expanded substantially in all our operations. We need bright young people to join the Air Force. And if you think that you want a great career, you want to be very, very successful in whatever you endeavor, I think you must choose Air Force. Why not Air Force? You can even choose Army or Navy. All the services are great because I did the course jointly, many inter-services course, including Air Defense Management course. I was a part of the course where I partnered with distinction. Why I'm telling you, you should have an inter-service rivalry, but that rivalry should bring the best in us. So join Air Force. If you don't want to join Air Force, I will request you to join Army or Navy. All the three services are outstanding for you. It will bring you the best of the life in UH.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. And it was indeed a very great privilege to have interacted with you. Once in a lifetime, we get this opportunity to speak with them who are the real heroes. And Sainik Vani is such an initiative which has been conceptualized by Dr. R. Sridhar. And this is one of the most heartfelt initiatives of Media for Community Foundation. So before we wrap up the entire program, your own feelings and how do you find this concept of Sainik Vani?
Actually, when Mr. Sridharan spoke to me to speak to Sainik Vani, I said, I've been talking on many occasions. It's a great opportunity to showcase, what armed force all about it actually, the operations, be it Kargil or great IPKF operations. Because today's youth should know what it is like life in the Air Force. The people think it's a life in army and all very tough and tough. But what the toughness only makes you a good human being, good human actually. So being a part of the armed forces is a gift of God actually. If it comes in your way, don't miss it, grab it. Otherwise it'll be a missed opportunity. So everywhere you get an opportunity, do this, because I can assure you, you'll never get a life of what armed forces gives you, and you can give it back to the nation the best way what you want to do it. And that's what I said. If I give an opportunity again and again and again, I'll join the armed forces, and my first choice will be Air Force.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your time today and sharing the important facets of your life and giving us a glimpse of how Indian Air Force is. Our gratitude to all the heroes like you for dedicating your lives to the country and the country people's safety. And Jai Hind, thank you so much.
Thank you, Barsha. Keep inspiring a large number of people. You're doing a very fantastic initiative by connecting the dots and bringing the best of the people to come and speak to the large number of youth. And this is one of the fantastic initiatives what you do. I'm quite sure it will kindle the thought process of many and inspire so many young people to come and join the armed forces and serve the nation. Thank you so much, Barsha. Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
To be with your team. Thank you. Bye-bye.
इनसे है देश का गौरव, इनसे है देश का गौरव, इनसे है देश की शान।